Welcome back to Ion Radio. I'm John.
And I'm Ken.
And today we are looking at the brand new Separatist Alliance Starter Box for Armada. I'm really excited about this. The Separatist ships are some of my favorite ships in all of Star Wars, so let's take a look at them. Let's take a look at this Separatist Alliance Fleet Starter. Just want to show you how nicely this is packaged in. We got our ships, all of our components, and then the cardboard and rule book are in their own little cardboard sleeve right here to protect them. Okay, here's the contents of the box. You have 2 small bases and stands for the Hardsell. You have the medium base and stand for the Munificent. A whole pack with a maneuver tool and dials and components. Plus all the black spinners for the dials and the ship shields, along with another set of dice. A pile of cards that we're going to be going through in a minute. A package of the droid starfighters. I believe they come with 4 bases. Now let's take a look at this. We got the Hardsells. And we'll be doing a zoomed in closer view of these in a moment. And then the Munificent, another fine addition to my collection. With learn to play rules that have recently been updated to what's being described as the 1.5 Armada rules, and then a whole sheet of cardboard that we'll take a look at. Let's take a look at the cardboard components. So we have a range ruler, and we have speed dials and shield dials, and then the inserts for the command. We have a set of obstacles, defense tokens, normal tokens, and then victory tokens in the new faction. So we have the Separatists, and we also have the Republic, along with the past tokens that they have the new rules for. Then our last piece of cardboard has a whole bunch of everything. It has the ship, and it also has the blue, which are referred to as flak, compared to the red side. Now let's spread out the cards and take a look at them. So here's the cards that come with this box set. We have 2 reference cards, and this is double-sided and now has contain and salvo put on it. We have the set of original, which came in the original core box, objectives. So you would still need to buy the additional campaign boxes to have all the objectives, but these have been updated with the FAQ and errata. We have our squadron cards and our new size ship cards, along with all of these upgrades that we're going to take a look at in a minute. We have this. I know that they were resizing everything to the new card size, but the damage deck was not really on my mind. I think I'm going to keep with my original one. This is a little bit bulky, but it is very easy to read. So let's take a closer look at all of the new cards. So let's start off by taking a look at the ships. First, we have the Munificent class, and it's got a comms frigate. It costs 70 points, and as you can see here, it has a pretty strange arc on the ship, and I think it will be really fun to try to get double arcs with it. The comms frigate and the second one, which is the star frigate, have pretty much the same dice allotment. It is a very slow ship, but it's a very maneuverable ship for being slow.
Yeah, with that second yaw movement at speed 2, it can move around the board.
Yep. So the comms frigate has a brace, a redirect, and a salvo. So let's take a look at the next ship.
So with the Star Frigate, a couple changes. For the most part, it's identical. The Munificent doesn't change too much. You have a squadron value of 2 instead of 3. And you also gain a black die in the anti-squadron capabilities of the Star Frigate. Dice and shields are all the same, like I said before, and you get a defensive retrofit instead of an offensive retrofit for the ships.
So one of the main differences between them, besides price, because the Star Frigate costs 73 points, is that the comms has 3 squadron, while the Star Frigate has 2 squadron command capabilities. So let's take a look now at the Hardsell class. There's 2 versions of it. The first one is the transport version. It comes in at 47 points. It kind of looks like a blend between a flotilla and a corvette. It has a very strange defensive suite. It has an evade, a brace, and a redirect. It goes speed 3 and has okayish maneuverability, a blue anti-squadron, blue out the sides, 2 red and a blue out the front, with nothing out the back for anti-ship.
You know what this actually kind of reminds me of is almost like a Nebula and B frigate, like you brought up, in terms of the distribution of shields and the weapon capabilities. One interesting thing I want to point out on the Hardsell transport is that you have 2 officer slots for upgrades. So let's take a look at the battle refit. So it's a little different. We have a 52 point cost for this particular ship. We're going to have an offensive and defensive retrofit instead of an officer and a support team. Our anti-squadron flak goes from a blue to a blue and a black, and we drop our squadron command capability from 2 to 1. The other thing that we're going to wind up doing across the board is replace all the blue dice with red dice. So we're going to have a lot more longer range fire capability, but with the offensive retrofit, you can actually probably do something with it.
And a turbo laser slot.
And you have the turbo laser spot instead of the fleet support.
Correct. Personally, I think I would probably run more transports, because the double officer will allow you to bring more control gear and that fleet support slot. Mm-hmm. So the same as the original starters, both of the starters come with only 1 type of squadron and 1 ace. For example, the original starter box came with X-Wings and TIE Fighters. This one just comes with Vulture-class droid starfighters. The droid fighters have a very interesting new ability, which is AI. As we learned, spoiler for the later videos if you watch them about fighter squadrons, there's AI anti-squadron, and then there's AI, I believe, anti-ship. I forgot exactly what the wording is. And what this does is, if you command the squadron in the command step, you're able to add a dice that's already in the dice pool to its appropriate, if it's anti-squadron, anti-squadron, anti-ship, anti-ship. And it has swarm, and it costs 8 points. It moves speed 4 and has 3 hull. It is very similar to a TIE Fighter. It has a blue and a black dice in its anti-squadron, and if you command it, then you can add a blue or a black dice into it. Its anti-ship is a red dice, so that's going to either be good or really bad.
Depending on if John's flying them or I am. But,
exactly.
So we get 1 ace out of this, the Haor Chal prototypes. The specific difference here is before an enemy ship or squadron at distance 1 moves, you may perform an attack against that ship or squadron, even if you are engaged. So it's like a attack of opportunity almost.
Yes, it is.
And that's kind of a neat thing to include into Armada. We still have the AI anti-squadron and the swarm in here. Everything else is the same. 16 points, so double the cost. And you get the brace and the scatter defense tokens with it.
Yes. I could see this fighter being one of those fighters that you just kind of throw at the enemy and just keep it close and give them hard choices. If, let's say, they decide to bring a no fighter list, you can just plop this in front of a ship, and every time that ship moves, you're going to just get a free attack on it. Or plop it in a bunch of ships if they want to fly close formation, and then just pew, 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 pew all the way around. Let's take a look at the upgrades, starting with the commanders that come with this. We have 2 commanders that come in this box set. The first one is Count Dooku, the apprentice to Darth Sidious himself. He costs 30 points. So he has the brand new iconography on here of placing command tokens on here. He places 3 at the beginning. You must choose at least 2 types of command tokens for this card. You can't just choose one. At the start of each ship phase, you may discard 1 command token from this card. If you do, each enemy ship gains a raid token matching that command token. So he's back there manipulating everything behind the scenes.
That's kind of a real thematic way of bringing him out, I think, in this game.
Yes, so it could be very mean. So basically, if you're playing Squadrons, look out, because he's going to choose the 2 most important turns and raid Squadrons across the entire board.
Right. And then probably a
navigate turn 1.
So yeah, this will be an interesting commander to go up against. You have to think a little bit in advance, I think. So Kraken is the other commander at 30 points. Here's how he reads. Once per activation, while a friendly ship is attacking a ship, if another friendly ship is at close to medium range of the defender, the attacker may change 1 die to a face with any 1 icon and no other icons. That is a very wordy card.
Yes, it is. So he's going to be very good with the Munificence because they're all red dice. So you just roll it in, see what you get, and then flip it to whatever you need. If it's a crit, or if it's a hit, or if it's an accuracy. Now we have some officers. And we're going to be, well, I am going to be butchering names, so get ready. So the first officer is Rune
Haku,
something to that effect.
Say in the comments below what you think.
His ability is when you reveal a command, you may choose another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5. If you do, discard any number of command tokens from that ship, this card, or both, to gain 1 matching command token for each discarded token. So he starts the game with 2 tokens on him. So you can just use him to gain tokens. He basically steals things from other ships for himself. So it's a reverse comms net?
Kind of. Yeah, in a way it is. It's like I'm going to take this from you, and I've got some stuff in my pocket, and we're going to use that to gain some command tokens. So let's move on to Wat Tambor. You have to spend an engineering command to be able to activate his ability, but you may spend up to 2 shields from any of your hull zones or any 1 hull zone on another friendly ship at distance 1 to 5 to gain twice that many additional engineering points. So you're essentially looking at being able to gain 4 total engineering points to another ship. So great way to help fix something in dire need. And for 5 points, that's not bad.
No, that's not. So he can gain 4. The Munificence have 4 plus 2 for a token, and you can have 10.
That's a lot. That can almost bring a ship back to life.
Yes, it is. So our next officer is the T-Series Tactical Droid, and it has the non-recurring cost of a token. It costs 4 points, and it says when you spend only an engineering token, a navigate token, or a squadron token to resolve a command, you may exhaust this card. If you do, resolve that command as if you had spent a dial of the same type instead. So if you have tokens, you can use him for a turn to get a very strong turn. So I always think this in relation to like Thrawn. So if you save a squadron token for him, you can be doing whatever you normally are doing and then using squadrons anyway. Or saving that engineering token and using it specifically exactly where you want to use it.
So next, now we're going into support teams. So we have Battle Droid Reserves. This is a droid-only card. It has a non-recurring cost of an engineering token. So when you spend an engineering command, you may exhaust this card. If you do, you may flip any number of your face-up damage cards with the crew trait face down. And then discarding face-down damage cards costs 1 fewer engineering point. So you can really fix up your ship. It's like, here's your battle droid reserves. They come in, help fix up the ship, and even fix up some of the really nasty crew traits.
Especially if you combo-wombo that with Wat Tambora.
Oh, yeah, that talk about really saving your ships.
So for 2 points, and so you could heal 5 damage
Yeah.
with him. It's insane. Just bring the ship right back to life. Our next card is an offensive retrofit. It is Hyperwave Signal Boost. It has a recurring cost of an engineering or a squadron. It costs 3 points. It's got quite a bit of text on it, so let's take a look. During the squadron phase, when it is your fleet's turn to activate squadrons, you may exhaust this card to choose a number of unactivated friendly squadrons at close to long range up to your squadron value. This turn, activate each of those squadrons while attacking. Each of those squadrons with AI are treated as if activated by a squadron command. So this will allow you on your turn to activate your squadrons, only attacking in essence. But when they attack, they get to use their AI ability. So it's basically beaming out information during the squadron phase to them.
And that's kind of the neat part about this card, John, is that it's happening during the squadron phase, as opposed to during the normal command or ship phase.
Yes. So you can throw your squadrons outside of your normal range the one turn, leave them there, and then hopefully move your ship and then use this the next turn.
So while we're on the topic of squadrons and offensive retrofits, we have the reserve hangar deck. This is out of the original series of cards, so we'll just leave it and move on. Reactive Gunnery, then. This is also in the clone starter. For 4 points, defensive retrofit. While defending, you may exhaust this card and spend a ready defense token to resolve the salvo defense effect instead of that token's effect. You cannot resolve the salvo defense token effect more than once per attack. So here's a situation where you have a defense token that you've got readied, and you can fire back, use the salvo effect, and you get to shoot back when it's not your turn. And that's really cool.
Yes, I think you'll see this on a lot. I think you'll see this more on Empire and Rebel ships than you will necessarily the Republic or Separatists, due to the fact that most of the Republic and Separatist ships already have salvo tokens. Moving on to a turbo laser card, we have swivel-mounted batteries. It has a reoccurring cost of concentrate fire. It costs 8 points. It is a modification. It says, when you reveal a command, you may exhaust this card to choose one of your hull zones and mark it with a focus token. Focus tokens are new tokens that come with this. They look pretty similar to the chaff tokens, except instead of red, they are blue. And when you do that, while attacking a ship from the hull zone that's marked, add 1 die of any color from the adjacent hull zone's armament to your attack pool. While attacking from the adjacent hull zones, remove 1 die from your attack pool. When you ready this card, remove the focus token. So because it has a recurring cost, it won't automatically refresh. So that token will stay there for as long as this card is exhausted. It has the ability to take any color dice from the side and add it to the front, but you have the penalty of that all of your attacks, including squadrons, out those side arcs, are at -1 dice.
So next set of upgrade cards, you get the heavy ion emplacements. This again also came out of the upgrade pack in the original series of cards. So we'll skip that and go right to the new Clone Wars Munitions Resupply card. So this is a fleet support card costing 3 points. You will put 5 concentrate fire tokens on it at the beginning, and it has a non-recurring cost to ready it of 1 concentrate fire engineering or navigate token. It reads, after your reveal command dial step, you may exhaust this card and discard any number of concentrate tokens from it to choose that many friendly ships at distance 1 to 5. Assign each chosen ship a concentrate fire token. So in essence, a comms net for concentrate fire.
Yes. It goes right along with the next one, which is Parts Resupply. In essence, it's the exact same card, except for engineering. I personally think that Parts Resupply is going to be more useful for the Separatists, because if you look across all their cards, all their droid cards and all their repair cards require you to be using engineering to refresh them. So like Tambor with the droid extra parts card and this part resupply is a pretty good combo machine that you got going.
It's going to be fun to see all these play out. That much is for certain.
Let's now move on to the titles.
So we have the first one is the Tide of Progress 12. It comes into 2 points. Before you are dealt a face-up damage card with the ship trait. You may exhaust this card to discard that damage card without resolving its effect. Now that's kind of a good effect there. If you draw right, and I think the bulk of them are ship trait cards.
It's about 50-50.
In either case, 50-50 shot if you get a crit or you get that face-up damage card, it just goes away. That's not bad. You do have a non-recurring cost of 1 engineering token, though, to refresh it.
Okay, Ken left me with the harder one to say. It is Sa Nelor, something to that effect. It is a 5-point card for the Munificent class, and it reads, while defending, if you are at speed 2 or higher, so speed 2, you may spend a defense token to resolve the evade defense effect instead of the token's effect. You cannot resolve the evade defense effect more than once per attack. So that's kind of cool with the changes to evades that have taken place, allowing you to cancel a dice at long range and then reroll dice at medium and close range. This could be very beneficial to help keeping these ships alive.
So let's go look at the Hardsell titles. So the first one is Foreman's Labor. This one will exhaust, costs 5 points. Before you suffer damage from an attack, if the defending hull zone has at least 1 shield remaining, you may exhaust this card to reduce the total damage by 1. I like how you need to have shields for it to come into effect. It's almost as if you have a little bit extra juice to give the shields to kind of protect you a little bit.
Yeah, this card will be difficult to use because its side shields are only 1.
Equally true.
So it's kind of a one-off if you shoot my side, but please shoot me in the front.
Yeah.
So the second card for the hard sell is the Beast of Burden, and it's 6 points with exhaust. And it reads, when you activate, you may exhaust this card and spend 1 or more of your defense tokens to choose up to that many defense tokens on friendly ships at distance 1 to 3 and ready those defense tokens. So this ship will suffer the spend cost to refresh a friendly ship. So it becomes a super support ship, especially if you put it on a transport with the 2 officers and the fleet support. I think, personally, both of these cards are useful. I would probably use Beast of Burden if I'm putting on it, but then you're making it pretty expensive with the 6-point upgrade.
That is a hefty price for a title.
So there's our look at the new Separatist Alliance fleet. I'm pretty excited. I really want to try out and fly the Munificent class. Even though they're red dice and red dice hate me, that very strange arc.
Those are neat looking. Yeah.
I really want to try to double arc and just use Kraken, or it basically, to me, Separatists are janky, and I like.
Yeah, you like to play janky fleets, John.
So I'm very excited to try it out. In our first game, I'm probably going to be Separatist for a while, and Ken's going to be the Republic, and then we'll flip-flop later on. But let us know what you think of the ships and the titles and the upgrades and how you're going to be using them and use them in combination against the Republic and the Empire below.
Check out us on our social media, Discord, Facebook, etc. Join us, chat with us. Like the video if you enjoyed what we gave you, and subscribe if you haven't already done that. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Ken.
I'm John.
And you've been watching IM Radio.